Come on.
What is going on, YouTube-averse? John Stanek from Johnny Radio here, bringing you another Album of the Month review, and I'm so excited to be talking to you today about Band of Horses' new album, Why Are You Okay? And to me, I think it's the best thing that they've released since 2007's Cease to Begin, which is one of my favorite albums of all time, and I think by far is their best. But this, to me, is probably a fairly close second. I think, they kind of lost their way a little bit with Infinite Arms and Mirage Rock. For some reason, the magic that they had on Cease to Begin kind of had fallen to the wayside, and it seems to be back for the most part of this record, and I don't even know if I can put that into words, but it seems like Band of Horses, that they're almost a genre unto themselves, because they're kind of a blend, if you're not familiar with them, of kind of Americana country mixed with dreamy pop, mixed with indie, and it just all blends together so well into their own thing. And they're definitely back, especially with that dreamy vibe on the first track, just off the bat with the first song, Dull Times / Moon. It's kind of two songs in one, and it was a bold move to release a 7-minute song as the first track on the album, but it sets this kind of dreamy, slow-paced mood on the first half. Of course, 5 minutes into the song, then it quickly picks up the pace with the moon part. But I just love that song. I think it's one of my favorites on the album. And, he's Ben Bridwell, such a cool songwriter. I love the way that he uses imagery and oftentimes just very simple stuff. There's a line that just goes, filthy room, guitars out of tune. And you can just picture that, and it's... it may not have any importance at all to the song whatsoever. It's just, but he just kind of gives you this imagery that's very vivid and very simple. Ben Bridwell does that so well. He makes simple things endearing. There's a song later in the album called In a Drawer, which lyrically, the whole song is just about finding old photos in a drawer, which we've all done, and it can end up the simplest thing sometimes being the most poignant, and there's a line in that where he says, "Can I go with you to the laundromat?" Which I think, a lot of other artists probably wouldn't be able to even pull that off, because it's borderline cheesy territory, but it's like, I don't know, I think it's something about Bridwell's voice too, that he just has that high register, just kind of odd voice that whatever he sings about becomes this kind of heart on your sleeve, even if it's not anything important. He gives you an emotional weight to it, and I think there's also a kind of a maturation to his songwriting on songs like Whatever, Wherever, which is kind of about parenthood, and then there's a song Hag where he says something along the lines of, "Are we really in love?" So there's some deep stuff mixed in with that simple stuff that just, it works so well, and I really appreciate. And this album is full of, even though there's no tracks that are like amazing on this record, as there are on Cease to Begin, like Detlef Schrempf or No One's Gonna Love You, there are definitely some standouts, like Solemn Oath, the second track, has this really cool melody, both vocally and on guitar, with the down 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 down, and you want to drive along. It's really good driving music, along with Casual Party, another kind of upbeat, very cool melodically. Another standout would be on the second half. There's a song called Throw My Mess that has just this foot-stomping, driving thing going on with kind of a country tinge to it. And then I believe it's right after that, or shortly after, there's a song called Country Teen that definitely has kind of an old school country vibe, but then it kind of mutates into this 60s Beach Boys type thing, which is very cool. And I like that too because it kind of goes along with the cover artwork, which is a couple standing on the beach. And I think I really appreciate the relevance of that right now that the album is released in the summertime, and for the most part it's really a feel-good album. A lot of upbeat songs. Of course there are some slower ones that for the most part work very well, although I think that the last song, Even Still, would have been best on the cutting room floor. It's not a bad song by any means, but because it follows right after another slow song called Barrel House, I don't know, it doesn't work as the closer for me. I think Barrel House itself would have been a much better closing track, especially because it has much more poignant lyrics, like especially the last line of that song is beautiful. It says, "Bring some peace to this world and keep passing it on." And I think that would have been just a much better sentiment to close the album on overall. It would have made more sense to me, especially from a band like Band of Horses. But that's really my only quibble with the record. Overall, it's very solid. I do think, and of course, there's a track on Cease to Begin called Lamb on the Lamb that's just a minute long and just some guitar kind of meandering stuff in the middle of the album. And a lot of artists are doing that lately for whatever reason. On the new Thrice album too, in the middle of the record, there's just a 1 minute kind of musical interlude that I could kind of take it or leave it. The one that they have on this song is aptly titled "Hold On, Gimme a Sec," and there's really not much to it musically. If I had to compare it to Lamb on the Lamb, at least Lamb on the Lamb had that kind of dreamy guitar thing that fit in very well with the album. Cutting it out would almost not make sense. On this one, I could take it or leave it, the Hold On, Gimme a Sec. It doesn't really add anything to the feel of the record. So, you could take that one off as well as Even Still, and then I think you'd have a much more cohesive 10-track album versus the 12-track that it is. Again, I think it's still very good. Their strongest since Cease to Begin. I give this a strong 7 out of 10, and I definitely recommend it. Especially if you're already a fan of Band of Horses, you're going to love this. If not, check them out, and definitely check out Cease to Begin. Guys, I really appreciate it. I'd love to hear what you think. Like, subscribe, Viva La Vinyl, all that jazz, and I will see you guys soon. Take care.